President Yoon Suk-yeol voiced strong criticism against the profit system of the banking industry in a recent cabinet meeting. His focal point was the assertion that banks were reaping substantial profits from interest, while the public bore the brunt of elevated interest rates. Today, let's explore how banks manage to amass considerable profits from interest even in the midst of a recession. In simple terms, banks generate revenue by borrowing at lower rates and lending at higher rates. For instance, if person A deposits 1 million won at a 3% interest rate, 12-month APR, after a year, A will receive 1.03 million won. The bank subsequently lends this money to person B at a slightly higher interest rate on a loan, the interest the bank earns for lending the money. Assuming the loan rate is 4%, B will have to pay back 1.04 million won. The disparity between deposits, money placed into banking, and loans, money borrowed, is termed the loan deposit margin. How are interest rates set? Each country's central bank establishes a standard interest rate, to which it refers. In Korea, the Bank of Korea is responsible for announcing it. Typically, when the economy is slowing down, the central bank lowers the standard interest rate to encourage more borrowing. Lower interest rates make it easier for companies to borrow money from banks for investments or to increase their hiring. It's a type of incentive. On the other hand, when inflation is too high, central banks raise interest rates. In 2022, the American Central Bank took two significant measures to address the soaring inflation and real estate prices. They delivered big step, increasing the standard interest rate by 0.5%, and giant step, increasing the standard interest rate by 0.75%. When the U.S. raises interest rates, other countries have no choice but to raise their own rates as well because they can earn more interest by keeping their money in countries with higher interest rates. In response, South Korea also increased its interest rates, causing deposit and lending rates to rise. This means that when you deposit money, you earn more interest, and when you borrow money, you have to pay more interest than before. As the interest rate on loans rose sharply, borrowers had to pay a higher amount of interest. The government made comments that reflected their awareness of this issue. Banks found ways to thrive in both low and high interest rate environments, and there are two key reasons for their success. Firstly, the banking sector operates as a monopolistic industry. The high barriers to entry since 1992, with only 3 exceptions in the form of internet banks like Kakao Bank, have prevented the establishment of new banks. This lack of new entrants allows established banks to maintain higher interest rates on loans and lower interest rates on deposits and savings due to limited competition. Moreover, both low and high interest rate scenarios offer advantages to banks. In times of low interest rates, the volume of loans tends to increase, leading to enhanced profitability. Conversely, in periods of high interest rates, banks can charge elevated loan rates, thereby expanding their loan deposit margin and increasing overall profitability. This adaptability enables banks to navigate varying economic conditions and remain financially robust.